you can learn about the SQL. Let's start with the show database command. This is a case sensitive. Yeah, you can use either capital letters or the small letters. It works for both. Show databases. In the output, it shows the all the databases are present in the SQL system. This command is especially useful when you are working with databases. You want to check how many databases are present. If you don't want to, you can also don't the database. If you want to create the database, uh, you can also create the database like so it's a create database. So login and then just run it. It successfully create the databases, and then we lock it and then run it. As you can see this, there is a on the second column. Yeah, to see there was a login. Sorry, so the second row you can see them. There is a login database. You can also delete the database using the drop. Drop. Database. So login and run it as a query and drop it the database login successfully and so on. I want to check it once again. It's successfully deleted, but be careful. Using the drop means permanently delete everything in the database. Once it's deleted, you can't recover it unless you have the backup. Once you are playing anything, you are the dealing with the live servers or the live data. Be careful with that. Once you are the deleted, you can't. That's why you play only the backup data. I want to create the database as a create database name users and then run it. Successfully created. And then once you have the created database, you can use the use command to help to switch the databases. The create tables or performs operations. Use table, use database. Sorry. Use users. You have successfully entered the user database, and then that's it. Then I show you the creating a table, the basic table. Let's show the create table name, the login, and then we have the ID int, and then we have username varchar. We discuss these letters about in varchar data types. These are the most crucial thing in the creating data types. These are the most crucial things while dealing with creating a table or while dealing with memory. I discussed this letter about this varchar 20, and then password varchar. Save it and run it again. It successfully create the tables. Also, there is a command like there is a we created a table like a login table. Okay, this is a basic of the creating table. Now let's move on to the more advanced SQL concepts. The dealing with the constraints. So this is the most crucial part. The constraints are the more useful, such as a primary key and the foreign key and the unique and check and the default. These constraints help to define define the structure and rules of the database tables. This is the most important. Be careful. And these are the most interview questions. When they're attending any interview, they ask these things. Let's start with the primary key. The primary key. What was the primary key? The primary key is like there are the three main uses of the primary key. The three benefits. So the first one is prevent the duplicate values for the being instead into the tables. If someone is using already existed a table, it will shows the already existed. It's preventing the duplicate values, showing the benefits. The benefits falls under the category for the data integration. It's not taken the null values also. It's not taken the null values. Third advantage to create a primary key is that it's caused the MySQL create an index which is used to better to search fast for more data. You have like terabytes of the data. Let's show in the example. So create as a table. And what was the table name? It was a compliant table. That's fine. I create the CMPLANT compliant table and the city. So varchar the 50, and then we have year int and then high temperature high temperature as a begin. We have to call as a begin, and the primary key set as a primary key the city and the year. Once it's created, creating a primary key, both of the primary keys, one city and the int, it's not take the null values or the any duplicate values. Sometimes it happens when the null values are created. That's why null values are not created. I run it again. The database also created. We have to check. So run it again. It shows there is nothing. Right now there is no data. So both are the primary keys. It's null. It's a no. Like it's a pre-built constraints. The primary key you mentioned the primary key. It's not take the null values. Like it shows the no means null values are not taken by null values. So the begin means begin take the null values. High temperature take the null values, and it's not. I already told you it's not created once the city and year. Once it created, once it entered, once it's created the same name. If the same names data comes, like it's throw an error. It's already created the primary key. The most of the cases we have to use the primary key. And the next we have the foreign key. The foreign key is a column and that table. The matches the tables of the primary key. It's of another table. Define the foreign key established for the relationship between the two tables, so that you will able to retrieve one the results at the constraints data with the both tables. While the foreign key is most of the useful, like if you have the two relation columns once, for example, if you want to create a website, like they're creating have the database or the backend. If the order was made by the customer, they can provide the free food. The pre-food command, they create another pre-food table. We connected the both of them using the foreign key. That's why using the primary key, using primary key and foreign key, this is the most useful cases, the relationship between the two tables. Let I show you the example with the creating them as the customers ID and so varchar and the 15 age. I have the int. So set as the primary key, or you have to mention the foreign key and the customer ID. In the reference is mentioned which table we want to connect them, both which table you have the relationship. Okay, that's my bad. The customers. Run it. Successfully created. Let's the error did issue them. Okay, that's fine. We have to see them. MUL is a multiple. It's connected to using the foreign key. We connected to the customer table. Once both IDs are equal, it's dealing with the IDs are equal. The customer ID and like it's connected to both of them. It's connected to customer ID and on the table consumers ID, the foreign key refers the customers as referring to the customer ID. That's it. Showing that's why it's showing the multiple. It's a multiple relationship. We have the dealing. We discuss about the multiple. What are the types of relations? One-on-one relation, multiple relation. There's a bunch of the relations how they discuss with the later, and that's it. And then we have null values not null. That's not null means it does not take the null values. Either table contains must have the values either show throw an error. Like so the 20 is enough. And then we have there is an error right. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I forgot to do. Add cat. It's successfully created as a primary key. You can mention the not null while you are dealing. If you are facing any issues like empty columns, phone number, we specify the phone number until it's throw an error. If the user not provide the phone number, it's throw an error. The both are. You can also use the primary key, but primary key takes initially it's the three protocols as the primary key. The first one is no not null. I already discussed about in the primary key. It takes the not null values and the unique queue. If you want to the duplicate also provide. If you, it is okay, you have the it is okay. The column also provide the duplicate values. That's why you can use the not null values. Not null. It's if the duplicate value is also there. It's doesn't take the null values. It can also provide the duplicate values. That's just the not null values. What was that's the difference between the primary key and not null values. This is the example, right? The three values are not taken the null values, and the email ID take the null values. If user provide the email ID or not, that's it's take it's the table was saved the null value. That's it. And then we have unique. A unique is a key. It's a group of one or more. That's one field. The columns of the tables which uniquely identify the database records. This can be multiple unique keys in a table. It allows to null columns. Default index is no clusters. The purpose of unique key is enforce the uniquely data. User if already user present in the table, like if user email ID already present in the table, it's a unique queue means it's a throw an error. The user is already created. You need to mention something error or change the email ID. That's the unique is the unique purpose. And save it and run it. It's successfully created. I show you this. Busy one. Yes, it's a primary key and unique values. It takes the null values but unique. But you can provide also the primary key. And the primary key is the not null values unique. The primary key takes all these steps. You mentioned the primary key. It takes the not null values and the unique queue, all of these things. But sometimes it requires you have the specifying the not nulls and the unique values. It's you can also provide this as a not null. Either it's a we discuss this. These are the basics. We discuss this later how this works in the real time. Just understand these. How can you use them? In the check is a condition. Next we have the check is a condition. If the condition the values is the present, that either will throw an error. Like I want to create the air, I can also mention the constraint. Constraint, it's a defaultly taken the constraint. If I show the example, the created table high checking the values high temperature here between the 1800 and 2000, and the constraint high temperature less than 200. Like this is one of the most useful way the dealing with the high temperature table is designed to store the temperature data for the different cities. The key element are the city and the ES as a primary key. Use it to together unique queue identify for each record has a primary key. We can check the constraint ensure that the values here is between the 1800 and 2000. Here between the 1800 and 2000. Make sure we only store the valid historical data. The high temperature, this is a high temp. All the constant high temp is then less than 200. That means the temperature or realistic example, there is no temperature above 2000 Celsius are stored. Only stores below the 2200 Celsius. By the city and the year, the primary key, we guarantee that each city, the years combine uniquely in the table, so preventing the multiple records as the sometimes the checks are not fully supported. That's why I show the other option. First, we need to create a table. And successfully created. This is a use. This is a use, but this is creating a trigger. We discussed this later about the detail. This is the triggers or the triggers. We creating a trigger table. We discuss this later, so the advanced levels. Successfully created a trigger table. The triggers sometimes in some versions or checks or not check constraints are directly integrated, not integrated with each other. That's why you have to use the creating a trigger. The triggers are the most advanced topic. We discuss this later. The triggering viewers, view tables. They are like short-term users. We discuss this later. This is one of the use case. This is under the default can it gives the values, take the default values. If user didn't entered anything, it's take the default values. Like create a set table job and the job int, sorry, it's id int description, the primary key is job id. This tables create the values, right? If the manager whatever assigning the job or the night shift whatever, B shift whatever it is, it's defaultly take the 9 to 5. It defaultly take the 9 to 5 values. It going to be shift going to be the 9 to 5. Then I hit enter. It's creating a table that's successfully. I want to check DSC or AB describe job. Hit enter. It shows this is a default value in the default column. Have that given the 95 shift. That's it.